Roberts.
Hello. I've got a really hard act to follow. You might be grateful though that I will not be singing, because that would drive the crowds away faster than anything. I'm basically an educational lecturer and researcher in a Department of Psychology and Human Development, and I've been asked to talk a tiny bit about the horse project before I go on and talk about squirrels, but the two are connected. The horse project is helping looked after children through the use of horse therapy, and it's proving to be absolutely amazing, the power of animals to heal people who have gone through the most extraordinary trauma. And I'm just going to tell you about one of them. This is a 17-year-old girl, very, very angry, so angry that you can barely say hello to her when she starts switching her name, saying that's not who I am, I don't want to talk to you. She's really contradictory, really, really complex character. And she went into the ring with a horse, and immediately she was like, I don't want to talk to the horse hates me, I hate the horse. And this is a young woman who's been in a children's home for most of her life. Her father was a child abuser and an animal abuser and had killed pets in front of her, her own pets. So recovering from that kind of trauma is not something that anybody does overnight. And for this young woman, she found interaction with people really difficult, and who can blame her? So we had her with the horse, and she didn't want to interact at first. So the great big German shepherd came along, lay down beside her, and the young woman said, well, that's fine, I'll have a bit of dog therapy now instead. So she sat with the dog, and then along came the cat, and the cat sat by her as well. And the therapist started to ask her a few things, and she said, shut up, I don't want to hear you, I don't want to hear you. So it became really clear that actually people wasn't what she needed at that point. And before long, the horse had come over, had walked away, come over, walked away. And what the horse was doing was mirroring her own complex, come close, don't come close, don't come. And the horse was mirroring this. And after a while, we realised that we shouldn't even be talking to her. We should just let the animals get on with the healing work that animals can do. By the end of the session, she had this black horse following her around like a puppy. This was a horse that was not wearing a head collar, had no lead rope, had never met her before, and it was following her around, nodding its head over her shoulder, walking over poles. And the whole impact was so powerful that even though she was an angry young woman, when she came to filling out the feedback sheet at the end of the day, in the emotion line where she had to write, should we offer this to other young people, she circled the 10 and made it really clear about the impact that she was having. And science and researchers have come quite slowly to the understanding that human and animal interaction is one of the most powerful, purest, most beautiful, most healing things that exists on this planet. And if anybody has a research frame of mind, and I do, there's a really good free journal called the Bulletin of Human-Animal Interaction, with just the most amazing research about some of the work that is being done. I don't need to convince anybody here, I know that. But this leads me on to squirrels. Squirrels are one of the few wild mammals that can actually live in the barren habitat that we have left over for our wildlife. They're one of the few mammals that will interact with us, that seem to quite enjoy our company. And the reason I'm here talking about squirrels today is 2015 is a really bad year for the grey squirrel. 2015, we have got a massive fight on our hands because the Forestry Commission is making it mandatory for landowners to kill squirrels if they are going to get the Rural Development Grant. So once it was optional, Now it is going to be mandatory. And when you kill squirrels, you will be paid for doing so. £100 per hectare per year. So if you are a landowner with 1,000 hectares, and there are a lot of them, that translates as £500,000 over the next 5 years just to fund your squirrel killing activities. Now, if you can't think of a better use of £500,000 per landowner, then I don't know what these people are doing in power. I think it's absolutely disgusting that it's both mandatory and funded by the taxpayer. If you spot me around and about, I've got some information here. I've got some information about a petition that you can sign. I've got the details of the Forestry Commission and DEFRA for you to contact. But what they have done is a disgrace. They've done a public consultancy of 136 people. The petition currently stands at over 90,000 to stop the squirrel cull. And when I wrote to the Forestry Commission, they said they were quite happy with their consultation. They'd done another one in 2006, which is 10 years ago, and they were quite happy that killing squirrels was in the public interest. I don't think it is. A lot of people think that squirrels, grey squirrels, are responsible for wiping out the red squirrel. It is not true. For red squirrel, read red herring. The reason the red squirrels have died out of most of the UK is because we have chopped down the woodlands and because we hunted them to near extinction. So the same reasons that are given for killing grey squirrels were the reasons that were given for killing the red squirrels. In a small area in the Highlands in the 1920s, 60,500 red squirrels were killed on a government mandate. So we're just taking the spotlight from one animal to another, and we are using culling as the first position. We are not thinking imaginatively about what we can do. Things like the term of problems, pest, is completely overused. Most issues can be dealt with in a humane fashion, and we just seem to have this default position that it's perfectly okay to wipe out wildlife. Squirrels are beautiful, intelligent animals, and they may be one of the few contacts that we're able to have with wildlife. If you do not want your taxpayer money spent on funding this cull, please grab a flyer, sign the petition, contact DEFRA, contact the Forestry Commission, and tell them that you do not think that a consultation exercise of 136 people is acceptable. That's really all from me today. Come and grab a flyer. Thank you for being here, and let's not kill beautiful animals. Thank you. Thank you.